panelists bring us experiences all across retail, e-commerce, and tech-enabled CX. So we're going to have a very rich discussion. So I want to pass the invisible mic to Michael for you to give a quick intro, and then Steven as well.
Sure. Hi, my name is Michael Fulvio. I'm the Director of Customer Experience at SNIPES. If you don't know us, we're a streetwear footwear retailer here in the States. 370 stores. We're across from Barclays. Check us out. I've been with Snipes about 5 years now.
Nice.
Nice. Steven Rivera, VP of Customer Experience for Scentbird and Drift. I've been there for 7 years next month. Our old office was actually 2 blocks away from here, so full circle.
Wow.
Same thing I said last year, actually. Own everything from voice of the customer, from everything from the CX team. What are the right things, right policies for the company? What should the UX, UI flows be for certain things? Heavy on AI. We've been doing AI, and we've been with Digital Genius for 4 years. We used ZVA before that for our chatbot for 5 years altogether. So we've been in the game with AI for a long time, and to see where it's going now, to seeing the smaller companies now joining on to be like, I need AI everything. It's just eye-opening, and it's great because there's so much you can do with it. You just got to be strategic about it. But excited to speak to you guys about everything.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. We'll start off with the first question, the very easy question. The topic is going to be on holiday and BFCM planning. So how are you guys planning for the holidays and for the peak season this year? Michael, you can start us off.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been planning since last year, right? So we're in retail, so we see a spike during the holiday. What's great about this year and last year is it's a little shorter, actually, with Black Friday being so late. But we're also seeing sales start way earlier, and we're starting our Black Friday sale like a week before, 2 weeks before Black Friday now, I just heard. So just knowing that the customer is spreading out there, we just really focus on getting that messaging out there, making sure our tracking's up to date, making sure DG knows our holiday plans. And then we also just really make a plan to push for buy online, pick up in store for that week before Christmas, which is great because all the tracking. We kind of try to dissuade people from shipping at that point.
Yeah, same thing for us. We're heavily volume in regards to the summer months. People want to smell good. So Scentbird is a fragrance company, 30-day supply of the choice of your perfume or cologne that you like. We deliver it right to your home. So for us, our busy season usually falls into the realm of like May through June, July, August usually. And then all of a sudden we die down in the fall and we pick right back up during holiday. But to Mike's point, we've been planning for a year already. We get the marketing calendar. We know when those campaigns are going. We work with DG to say, hey, listen, we need the verbiage of like, this is going to happen on this day. This is the coupon code. Let's cross-reference it. It's one of the biggest things that everyone should be looking at is at least 2 quarters before the holiday season is you guys know what the common problems are, right? Marketing campaigns probably won't work. Claim codes, sometimes they break. Site messaging is important, but being proactive about it is such a relief for customers when they're like, I just want my product. I bought it. I didn't get the sale. What happens? You don't want to reach CX. If you do, great. We just try to streamline it through an AI flow, but we work on that at least a year in advance.
So go ahead.
The holiday is why we've looked at automation because we see 4 times as many tickets in 1 month as the rest of the year. And even just scaling up humans, you have to pay for that many more months to scale them up and get them involved in the systems and make sure they're great, right? And then they always want another month or 2 after. So just being able to roll with peaks, because it's the same stuff, it's just more of it,
Right.
is why we looked at automation to begin with.
So you guys basically finish your peak, you get a little bit holiday time with your family, and then you're right back into the planning. So BFCM is like a 365 days for you guys. It doesn't start like in July. It starts Jan 10th.
Yeah, and you guys are all the same way, right? You guys know your holiday campaigns are usually a spin-off of something that happens throughout the year, right? You just add another coupon to it, another percentage off, a multi-pack of something. So you know what the challenges are when they launch because you know the common issues. And for us, that's what we try using AI for is we already know what could break. So let's plan for it breaking. The last thing we don't want to do is it breaks the day of and you're like, oh man, we got to fix something. You can only put so many people to the problem. AI helps you with like, let's just create a workflow really quick and try to alleviate the pressure of the agents.
Well, having been someplace a few years, so now you've got a couple holidays to stack against yourself and be like, that was a nightmare. I can't do that again. So let's make next year a little better for me and my team.
Exactly.
Cool. So you are talking about the holidays end and then you get back into the planning. So what did you plan to get yourself ready for BFCM this year?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, self-service rate for us is very important. So just throw numbers out there. We handle over 1 million contacts, and about 60% of it goes through some sort of AI flow. Out of that 60%, about 70, you can keep me correct on this one, about 70 to 80% self-service through DJ. Never talks to a human, the customer never knows. So for us, it's how do we bring that up a level next year? So 2 years, we're at like 60, 50%. This year, we're close to 70. Next year, I already know my CEO is like 85. And I was like, I need an engineer. There's so much API work we have to do on that end. But it's the planning begins in regards to, we don't like throwing people to the problems. It's like, can we do a flow that has a good experience for the customer? They get their answers quick. Most customers, especially when they're having an issue, they don't want to speak to anyone. Just give me my answer, fix the problem. And that's what AI does. You can just make it to your brand voice and tone voice and so forth. So for us, it's really like looking at the self-servicing rates of like who should speak to a customer and who shouldn't. When should a customer speak to a bot and when shouldn't they? For us, it's very easy. After you have a billing problem more than once, you automatically go to an agent. Do not go through a flow because you can get in that loop sometimes, right? And the bad thing for that is they lose trust in you altogether. So we start planning of, all right, what should go to agents, what should go to our flows and so forth. And that's what really helps us elevate the experience year over year.
And for us, we're working to get to a chat which is about 30% of our cases right now, are chat going directly to an agent or to automation. The customers, there's not an agent available. So we're hoping DG is really going to help us out with that. And really just looking for more. Where else can we expand to? What other flows can we get into and build? Because it's just more of the same. As we're saying, it's just more.
Yeah.
So that's really where we're focused on getting to right now.
So given that there's going to be so much work to do for the peak season coming up, how are you guys supporting your agents during that time? Michael?
Kind words, deep breaths. Luckily, I've also had a team that's been with me now for a few years, virtually no turnover. So they all know it and they all support each other and get through it with each other. And we keep our Slack or Teams channel going, right, with the holiday cheer.
Totally.
And they're just amazing at just letting it all roll off their backs.
Yeah, for us, I've been blessed. So my senior manager for our tier 1 team has been with us for 9 years. My senior manager for tier 2 has been with us for 10 years. My fraud and my chargeback senior manager has been with us for 10 years as well. Most of my agents, I want to say over 60% of them have been with us since I started 7 years ago.
Wow.
The biggest reason why is we treat them like humans. That's the one thing with CX, and we all know it's usually a cost center, right? But if you treat them like they're part of the company, especially for us, it's summertime. They know summertime and prescription, January, cancellation's free, right? Everyone in January wants to get healthy and cancel all their extra spending habits. So those are the roughest months for us. So we just try to, we do contests sometimes. We try to get them involved in like, hey, this is the roadmap for the year. This is what you play a big part in it. And that's the biggest key is like, what part do your agents have in the growth of the company? It's not just servicing that in that experience, it's also adding value.
So kind words and having a team that's been with you for a very long time. They know the company culture, the values, the relationship, and that goes a very long way. That's awesome. Well, you've talked about everything that you've planned for the last year. What are you guys scared of? Like, what is keeping you up at night when this peak season hits?
Not even peak season, it's just AI is changing the game so quickly. Every time I go to a conference, it's like, oh, we're planning on doing this year. The next time I go to the conference, like 6 months later, like, oh, we did that. Now we're on version 2.9. And we're like, you just started. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What scares me is like, when is it going to be too much, right? When can you define AI to be a tool, or is it going to be just another roadblock in your experience? It's very important, especially for us, because we are subscription. It's most customers contact us about the same 80% of the contacts. Where's my order? It's damaged. I didn't like it. I want to return, cancel my thing. That's it. The other contacts are one-offs. Give me a product recommendation, or, hey, listen, I didn't, I want to ship it to someone overseas. Can you do that? So for us, it's what else can we do with AI? Just because the roadmap is so big right now. I mean, I was just at an event yesterday where they're building AI for agents to do AI. I was like, that's it, right? How do you get your agents to use a tool to make their jobs easier?
Yeah.
It's one thing. I was an agent once upon a time, and I always said it, like, our tools suck. It's an antiquated CRM system built by engineers for engineers, right? These AI tools you build for your agents, or you could build for your customer, right? Front facing. We all see a bots everywhere we go. But how about the flip side of it, building it for your agents? And that's what's like exciting me, but scaring me because I'm like, there's so much you're going to be able to do. It's what is the low hanging fruit, and then what is the biggest home run. And we try swinging for the fences all the time, take big chances, right? Big risks. So that's what scares me a little bit is where is the world going to in this space? Because I personally believe CX is the space in the last 3 years that's evolved so much. Every single person I speak to, they're like, yeah, I can't believe I can do this with CX now. I'm like, yep. Now we're going to be a revenue driver next year is one of my goals. Like, how do we bring in more money? Because we save tons of money for, with our cost reduction and deflections with AI, but now it's can we bring in value? And that's, I think for the CX space, that's the next step, right? Like that whole LTV life cycle of the customer is, can you bring in value to sales?
It's interesting you say that because we were just hosting an AI workshop this morning where we were talking about iterating. And brands who continue to iterate are going to be the best and they're going to beat their competitors in that space. And it got to a point where it's like, but how much do you, like, how fast and how much do you iterate? Because I feel like every single week, something is coming out, some new flow you have to build, some new technology you have to implement. So, like, maybe this can be like a second part of the question, but how often are you guys iterating? Because if you don't, your content kind of stays irrelevant. You're not optimizing, and your competitors are going to get ahead of the space. So that just got me thinking with you talking about how fast AI is moving. You're right, like 6 months from now, someone's scrapping the idea, but it's actually much faster than 6 months. It's like almost on a weekly basis. So I don't know, hearing that from brands felt overwhelming for me. I can't imagine actually being in that position. So just something I wanted to touch on as you brought it up.
Yeah, I think there's so many cool shiny objects,
Exactly, yeah.
amazing salespeople, and make you want it, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool, I can talk to this team, I can bring this in, and being in CX, you get to stick your nose into everything because it's all customer related, and you can see where things could be better. So, and it's so broad and it's so different than any company. I feel like all the salespeople come to us first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cool, this would help my customer by helping this other department. I should talk to them about it.
Right.
I should work on this and just try to slow down and say, I got my own yard to work on and clean up and iterate on.
Yeah.
And just trying to be a little bit more mindful and slow about that instead of, at that faster pace that
Totally.
the world's pushing these teams.
Is that something that keeps you up at night? Is that what scares you?
Yep. What keeps me up at night is because being through a couple of these holidays now is what's going to happen this year that I can't plan for. It's always something. So, in the past, having worked with logistics, having worked with, the people that get the boxes to the stores and the stores teams and IT and the warehouse, right? Just need to plug into everyone. And if something breaks anywhere, customer service is that lagging indicator. Like it's been broken for a while.
Right.
By the time we get the chance to identify it, it's back to the source, That's
Makes
what
sense.
Yeah.
It's a valid fear. Hopefully you get some restful nights of sleep. So a big topic that I've been hearing about since honestly last month, but I feel like it's been a constant conversation is just fraud. The many AI generated images that people submit in their email or their live chats on, hey, this product broke or my perfume vial spilled everywhere. It was an interesting conversation to see how we are in the space of like AI generated photos and how that'll go when it comes to like AI generated videos. Because I think the play here is like, take a video of the object, but at some point we're going to be able to generate that as well.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting question I got from the No Fraud team, which was, we've seen a major uptick in recent years around post-purchase abuse, with first-party abuse now costing retailers more than payment fraud. So for example, return fraud alone is expected to eclipse $100 billion in 2025. So how are brands balancing the desire to provide the kind of differentiated CX while also trying to protect the business from unwanted and expensive risks? And then I'll get into the second part of that question, which is what is hardest thing about it and what are you doing to make it manageable?
Yeah, I saw a fraud group talk about, generate a receipt for me. All right, now make it look like it's been in my pocket for a week. Oh my gosh, that looks real, right? And so we have a pretty hard line that like, hey, I'll send you a label to send that back to me. no, I don't want a label, send me a new one. You know, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, well now I don't trust you, right?
Right.
Or we get the one shoe claim a lot. We ship a lot from our stores. So I believe it. But we're going to make you ship that shoe back to us. We'll pay for it. But otherwise, it's easy to take a picture of one shoe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we want to make people come in or come to our stores. Most of our shipments go to within 25 miles of the store and let them kind of evaluate how real it looks. But love hearing the stories about what gets sent back to us. But we make it pretty hard for people to send something back to us for a return. So they mostly just go in the store.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for us, we don't really have many returns because it's a hazmat material, and most customers, it's a small vial that you get. If it's broken, we actually go through DG, and a picture has to be sent. It'll validate it. It'll go through our CX team, yes or no. And we have rules in the background that if a customer has more than one return in the first 6 months, it could happen, right? 2 returns, usually not. There's something wrong there. We have to go through a whole flow with CX and see what's happening. Are we going to report it? So we don't do much of that. The biggest thing for us for subscription with fraud is chargebacks and fraud of charges. Nowadays, I don't know what has happened over the last year, specifically like 6 months. Customers will just say, I never signed up for that, and just call their credit card company. The credit card company will fight it and be like, yeah, sorry, give them their money back. And we're like, what do you mean? We shipped to them twice. And we were winning before we went with a different company. We were winning 30% of our chargebacks, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars we're losing. Now we're winning with a company working 70%. Great. But we just found out, like, as of January 1st, there's these new rules that Visa is going to launch where you have to be at a less than a 1.5% threshold of chargebacks. So it's like, that's almost impossible.
We've run into that a
Yeah.
lot, unfortunately, and then trying to go down the rabbit hole of match those chargebacks to orders, and only a third of them had ever even written into us to give us a chance to
Yeah.
make it right, so we know something's up. But that it's not about the win rate; it's just about the report rate is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And there's a whole business out there. There's a whole business out there. People who this is all they do is fraud. I'm like, I'd love to have that much free time. Like, it's a business. So it's important that you work with the right partners. People that can automate. More important, people that can report out. There's so many companies out there that say they do frauds or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, what do you got? And they give you like a Google sheet, and you're like, listen, I could have done that too. It's really how well they can implement into your systems to understand that these are actions you should take, these are actions you need to take, and these are just recommended actions, across the board. So it's definitely something where fraud is going to become a bigger monster year over year. E-commerce is the way to shop now, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
For subscription, it's a big one too for the chargeback side of things and fraud.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah,
I feel like it might just get harder,
it will.
and then we're gonna have to keep on reiterating,
Yeah,
and then new shiny objects are gonna come out. So it'll get better, I hope. But yeah, it's a lot that we have to keep on thinking about these things as well, because it's like if one vendor solves X issue and you need another vendor to solve Y issue, you're looking for like Z vendor to like combine the two,
Yeah.
and I feel for you guys, but you're doing great. You're doing great. Okay, I love this question, and it's, how is AI solving your boring problems? We're always talking about how it solves like the manual tasks and the repetitive questions and things like that, but like, what's been boring and how have you been using it?
for us, it's a lot of Wizmo,
Okay.
and it's a lot of what's been great working with DG is those boring first questions. Someone says, I got this and it was beat up or worn or whatever, asking for a picture, right? Like my team hated doing that. If someone says, I never got this or I have a problem, and they use a different email address than on the order, they don't give their name, they don't give an order number, and that response of, give me something. You know? So that's what really helped sell my team on it, is that it's not just about full resolution, it's about helping you do your job easier and get to the meatier, kind of harder to solve problems, and taking away the stuff you hate doing. And they're like,
Right.
oh, I love that. So that was a really easy way in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's a great point. We started spinning it with our agents 2 years ago. Like, consider your AI bot your EA, your executive assistant that's helping you do the stuff that you don't want to do. You don't want to get the picture because the customer's like, I don't want to send you nothing. But if you go right through that AI bot and it says, hey, absolutely, we can process your refund, this, now, whatever, just send us a picture now so we can upload it into our system. They're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And it's on their phone. Usually it's quick, it's easy. So that's one thing. Wizmail for us is the biggest driver. Another one, because customers just don't like reading their emails, they're looking at their tracking links, it's how they do it. So same thing. Why should an agent tell you where your order is when you can just go online, DG does it for us. They look up their account information, see there's an order delay or whatever, spits out an answer. For agents, they're like, yeah, I don't want to talk to that customer. They want to talk to the customers that have bigger problems. They're like, I can help them. The wisdom for them, yes, it impacts their, emails per shift. Great. But it's not that wow experience that at this point, if you're an agent, you kind of want to be part of that wow experience, because if not, the job gets boring.
Right.
Because the same contact drivers for subscription every day. So that's why for us, we try to give the boring work to our bots and let our agents work, the multi-touch tickets.
Totally. The questions that need like a human touch
Yeah.
point. No one needs to be replying back to the where's my orders and things like that. Totally makes
I
sense.
remember looking at survey responses and someone's like, "Oh, that's robot. I hated it." And I look it up and it was a human.
Yeah.
It was never.
Blurbs. Yeah, blurbs. They're just using macros.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, we gotta rewrite those macros."
Our CSM team has work to do. Cool. Have you scaled back any AI? Everyone's always talking about implementing it and automating this and getting that workflow done, but
Yeah, for us,
are you not doing?
very recently, for I have not received is our top write-in reason for a while, and what you were saying about like, yeah, sure, happy to do it, and everybody gets one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. Like everybody gets one, and then talking with some fraud people and talking to some executives, they're like, well, there's a picture now. Carriers are a lot better about delivering pictures. Like, we don't want to. I'm like, okay, so we had to pull that back. Was something that DG was doing a great job with. So fortunately, now we have to kind of figure that out. So we pulled that back a little bit while we figure out the new step forward.
Yeah, for us, it's the opposite. What else can we do? We keep Divvy very busy. It's, we literally are at that space now where 70% self-service, automation. It's good. It's great. When you talk to other brands, you're like, whoa, that's amazing. We're like, we've been doing it for a couple of years now, though. Like, it's the bar. But like, we have to get better. And it's, it's going through our flows again every single month, every 2 months. Hey, we got to tweak this a little bit to improve that self-service rate. Hey, why don't we have this under self-service rate or under our AI flows? It's constantly asking your team who you're partnered with to be like, why can't we do it? And if there's a blocker, maybe it's an engineering thing on the company side. It's not on DG side usually. It's usually on our side, is the holder. But at the end of the day, it's why can't you automate almost all of your contacts for CX?
Right.
If you think about it, a human can answer the same question, of course, with more personality, more of a wow factor, right? AI is not there yet. It will be, I think, in the next year. But an AI can answer everything immediately, and most customers just want an answer. We're going to test out. You don't know this yet. We're going to test this out in a month after we launch the chat, and probably November by Thanksgiving, where we're going to be on our checkout page. Because I want to see if I can be a revenue stream. If a customer gets locked in on the checkout page and they can't check out for whatever reason, let's say credit card issue, address validation, I want our bot to appear and be like, hey, we can help you. Something that we can't do with agents 24/7. You'd have to staff. The ROI would have to be there. But to turn on the bot right then and there, I want to bring in revenue to the business. So I'm like, hey, not only do we save over $1 million in cost savings with our AI flows, I want to bring in $1 million and just with our AI flows as well. That's the game changer in regards to like what keeps me up at night is, man, if I could do it, that's the home run, right? Like if I could do it, that'd be great. But it's what can we do with so limited time?
Right.
For me, it took me a while to continually remind myself that DG is an AI company because I'm looking at the flows, which are really if-thens, which is how I built our processes for the team to start with, right? There's some gray areas that they can make decisions, sure. But remembering that AI is doing the work in the flows and reading and thinking and then decisioning on, oh, they're talking about this, they're talking about that, and then we can go down and make some other decisions there. Just because what I see is like, oh, it's if then, right? So
Right. That was awesome. It was cool to hear what you're pulling back on. It's like a flow you already have, but you're pulling back on, and then your thoughts mindset is, no, don't need to pull back. I need to do more because I have like these ambitious goals, and you want it like the world's our oyster with like what you can get done with AI. So I like hearing both side of the views on that. Now, tariffs was something I feel like everyone was talking about this year. In my world, it's kind of died down. I'm not sure if it's still a topic for you guys, but how can brands keep their tech stacks lean and efficient while they're trying to cut down costs amidst the like tariff increases? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, for us, I mean, I think we've all received a price increase email once a month from one of our companies, right, that we do business with. I don't know, I have like a folder of them. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to say yes because I'm going to pay for it anyway. At the end of the day, we all do. So for us, it's it's not only trying to be as lean as possible, it's your tech stack needs to be like, what's the ROI?
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing that most CX team, we own our own tech stacks. Like and I do the contract negotiations and so forth. And yeah, I would love one company to do everything, but there's some players in the game that could do some things a lot better than others, right? And what's the ROI for it? For us, especially with tariffs, and we tried looking at cost cutting and what do we have to do with shipping overseas, et cetera, et cetera. For us, it was just like, no, let's look at what we currently have in-house for our tech stack. And I actually lost some partners because I was like, hey, they can do the same thing you do. Maybe not as great, but the ROI of what I'm saving is there. And their version 2.0 is coming out in the next year in a roadmap. So for us, it's understanding what the company's roadmaps are for the tech stack to understand like what is the ROI across 18 months for us is what we look at to say I can invest with them here now. I know it's going to be an investment up front, but like we're saving X amount of dollars in the long run. And then what are we getting in return?
Yeah, same with tech stacks. It's all in the cloud, so I feel like the tariffs haven't been there for us. But we have had a big catchword this year of stabilization. So looking at our tech stack, there's a lot of but some overlap with some companies, and try to play them against each other or go full into another one, and just try to make sure we're squeezing as much juice as we can from every partner, since everyone's got so many different features and bells and whistles. And then on top of that, we are a retailer, so we're selling Nike, Jordan, Adidas, Pumas, right? And we don't set those prices; they set those prices. And so our customer is mostly coming to us for the product, maybe not Snipes specifically. So they're seeing that everywhere. So it hasn't affected us as much outside of the macro environment.
Makes sense. I feel like, again, I haven't heard it much in the software world, and I'm always curious to see how brands are dealing with it. Because when it first came out, everyone was kind of freaking out, and then I guess people just got used to it at some point.
As we do with everything.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to money. It's like, hey, everything's
Exactly.
what are you going to do about it?
Exactly. Okay, I have one last question, and then I'll open the floor up for some questions. But this is more like a forward-looking thought, which is, what do you guys think is next for CX and retail strategy beyond the holiday season? And how do you see AI evolving in the next few years? I would love to hear it again, just seeing how AI is literally changing every week to every month. When we're talking about like 5 years down the line, like, what are you guys looking forward to?
So I'm looking forward to getting this customer experience into more of the marketing and personalization, and giving that information back to the business, not just for emails, not just for text, not for push, but also for our loyalty program we have coming out. But also, like, I'm trying to push to get us to a space where we can really personalize that page. So I know it's you when you land on the page, whether you've given us your information or not. I can make some decisions about maybe what you might want to see on the page versus what you might want to see on the page, right? So that's where I'm excited about, trying to be that place in the business that can start to feed more data out to that decision making.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this space because I do think customer experience can be part of the life cycle. Usually, it was the tail end of the life cycle. There's a problem, they reach out to you, then hey, they're no longer a customer. To Mike's point, it's part of understanding everything about the customer. You have all the data points. Some sort of AI filter is going to put it into your CRM and spit out an answer being like, hey, upsell the customer. Hey, his customer's birthday's next week. Give him something. Tell him happy birthday. All the personalizations that like CRMs do for email marketing and campaigns, CX should be able to do the same exact thing. I do think in the next year, and that's how quick I think it's going to happen, is the CX space will be a marketing branch. It will be a revenue stream. It will be personalization. It will be all the things that business development, all the other branches of your company be like, hey, can you guys do this? And you're like, yeah, we kind of do it now. And they're like, but can we attach a budget to it? And then all of a sudden you're a part of business, right? Instead of being a cost center. So I'm excited just because AI is changing the space for us so quickly. I believe, we went from customer service and now it's customer experience.
Right.
Is it going to be the customer's life cycle? Is it whatever it's going to be, the loyalty? How are we going to label it in another year or two? It's exciting. It's an exciting space to be part of.
I think that also opens up the collaboration pieces for the marketing team and the operations and CX. I feel like as much as we don't want it to be, sometimes the teams are siloed and sometimes CX is not always at that table. Sometimes you see like your marketing and operations colleagues' calendars and you're like, I should have been in that meeting, but you weren't. So I think this might help fix the gap to have everyone in the same room because we're all tackling the same thing, just in different lenses and different angles, but it causes or helps with, creating that better synergy to be at the table all together.
You put a $sign next to any customer issue,
Yeah.
you're on the table.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. We know more about our customers than anybody else in the business.
Totally.
You speak to them all day.
Yeah.
You have that database of everything they say, what they like and don't like about your company.
Yeah. No, amazing. Well, we have a couple of minutes. Do we have any questions for Mike and Steven?